Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. I know I am. But I just kind of wanted to share some insight. When I went to Bible study yesterday, they talked about Jesus and they tied it into having a purpose. And it made me think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Basically, this is a triangle starting with food, your safety, security, things like that. But at the very top, it's the self actualization portion. And this means your purpose. Really, if you don't know who you are, you don't really know where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, you have to start back at the core, your foundation. I know my foundation is Jesus Christ and God. And that's how when anything happens or if a person may be behaving a certain way towards me or just things that are outside of my realm of control, I know that I am loved. I know that I'm important. Important enough for Jesus to die for me. Important enough to, even when certain obstacles come into my path, I'm able to overcome. I know that I can do it because I have my purpose in Jesus. I know my purpose is to inspire and fulfill. And that may be a lot of people's purpose, but just because it's a lot of people's purpose doesn't mean that you shouldn't carry it out, because we're blocking our blessings. We're blocking the help that someone else may have needed to receive that day. And I also wanted to get into there's a cognitive dissonance, meaning that we have certain things that we want to do, but our actions and the way that we carry things out is not aligning. So that furthermore affects your self-actualization, even if you're trying to get to your purpose, because you're not in alignment. And it's a scripture that goes along with that. It's like, Lord, I say I want to do one thing, but I do another. And it ties back to me into your self-efficacy. And this means how you feel about yourself. What is your view on yourself? What are you constantly feeding yourself? Whether that's people around you, whether that's what you're reading, listening to, all of these things play a part subconsciously and consciously. And we may not be aware until we develop into this person or someone lets us know. But basically, the Google definition, if you want a more defined approach, is a feeling of discomfort that occurs when a person holds conflicting beliefs, values, or attitudes. And this can be like you wanted to be healthy, but you're not doing the steps that it takes to get to that level. Or just if you want to not compare yourself to other people, you're working on that self-love and self-efficacy within yourself. Does that register? For me, it can be I want to go further in my sign language, but if I'm not practicing, then how am I going to get there? It also says on Google that some people will try to cope with this cognitive dissonance by changing their beliefs and behaviors, or justifying or ignoring conflicting info. And this in turn can affect how you feel about yourself. And sometimes we may point fingers at another person to try to justify certain things, but a lot of things starts within us, and we can only control our things. Even within our vices, no one is going to be perfect, but you can't expect something from somebody else and you're not practicing what you preach yourself. I mean, I think that actually changes you more to where it's like you feel like sort of a hypocrisy, you know? The opposite of cognitive dissonance is cognitive consonance, and that means when you're working out because you feel that you're able to, you're capable because of your self-efficacy. You're going for it. You're not listening to the outside noise because you hold yourself to a higher standard, and that's where a lot of us have to get in our self-actualization. And that's how we get to know where we're going, what we're doing, what our path is. A lot of us feel lost and we compare ourselves. And sometimes we have people tell us the truth. And yes, it is about timing, but sometimes we may pay more attention to the tone, or our insecurities can cause us to be offended. But when they're actually telling the truth, and we're taking it that way because we're not in alignment of how we're supposed to be. If you don't feel good about yourself, it's different things that you can do. You have to take those necessary steps. Easier said than done, but it's possible. It's possible, and it all starts with you. And Also, if you want a definition of self-efficacy, the Google version, Webster, a person believes in their ability to achieve a specific goal. And it also did in a recent study that an individual with higher self efficacy will be more confident about their cognition adjusting abilities, and they will be able to better regulate cognition amidst their disorders. So let's work on practicing what we preach, even if it's something like getting up and doing affirmations in the mirror. I know for me, I'll go to the word, I'll do affirmations in the mirror. When I first get up, I may do a workout from YouTube and definitely stretch because it loosens all of these things and it relaxes. I've been doing it so consistently, and I truly feel like I'm on the right path. I'm in alignment, and I'm taking those steps instead of feeling like I'm further behind. Movement influences mood. So what are you doing to further